Hey guys, I'm Mark Bridge, and welcome to PG Game Session. Alright, so this is the first ever episode of PG Game Session, my video game vlog, where I'm going to talk about the latest news in gaming and anything game related. This one, since it being the first in January the 2016, I'm going to forego any game news and start with my top 5 most anticipated games of 2015. Now, this is games that are confirmed as of now to come out in 2016, and they may get delayed because if I was to just go by like what I think might come out or what I hope might come out, I might mention a game like Final Fantasy 15, or I might mention a game like Final Fantasy 7 remake. But I'm just gonna go with what's pretty much confirmed, even if it's not like a definite time period, but at least they're working with 2016 release date. It's funny how these games work. Movies, they gotta set their date like sometimes years in advance, and the date is coming out. With games, they're like, okay, we're gonna work with this quarter, we're gonna work with this year, we're gonna work with this time period, whenever. It's like, but and they can get delayed, like a week before the game comes out. They can say, oh yeah, we gotta delay it for another week. So tough, like what are you gonna do? Nothing. But yeah, so I'll start my top 5 games with my number 5 game, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Now I had fun with the first Mirror's Edge. It's like a game you can probably beat in maybe 2 hours or something, maybe less. I'm sure like speedrunners have beaten the game in less, but I think like the fastest time I've ever beaten this game is 2 hours. Like, it's just like if you just keep moving, and it just feels like a really cool 2-hour movie if you play it in that way. I like the story. It's not like the best game out there, but I enjoyed it. I like the music, I like the gameplay, I like the story. So it was a really cool game. So when they announced that they were making Mirror's Edge 2 or Mirror's Edge Catalyst with the Frostbite engine, I was stoked, man. Like, cuddle me, like this is sold, right? I'm buying this game. So yeah, EA DICE is back with this brand new adventure. I think, I'm not sure. I think they're saying something along the lines of it's not really a sequel. They're kind of like rebooting it. Because not a lot of people anyway played the first one, or even if they played, they didn't like it. So again, another thing with video games, like if the first game sucked or just wasn't living up to its potential, they can release another one. It's not like movies, like you got one shot, man. You only got one shot. Nah, the video games works differently. So yeah, what we've seen so far, this game looks really beautiful. The first game looked beautiful too. Don't get me wrong, the first game looked really beautiful, especially when it came out for the PC and the physics engine was added to it. Like, it was like awesome. So this one now, again with the Frostbite engine, looks really spectacular, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Number 4 on my list is Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Now, full disclosure, I haven't beaten Human Revolution yet, but I love that game. I love the soundtrack, I love the atmosphere, I love the gameplay. The story, like, so far, was awesome. I remember when I saw the trailer to that game, it reminded me of Metal Gear, especially when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, and it had like that texture, that look about it, and then the trailer for this came out. It was like, wow, this looks, it kind of reminded me of Metal Gear a little bit, like a cross between Metal Gear and The Matrix. And so when I got this game, even though I think it's pretty known out there that the trailer we saw in the game is like, there's nothing in the trailer that's in the video game, in terms of like the cinematics and stuff like that. But video game still looks really good, even now. Like, yes, you could tell, like, it's built for last gen, but for a last gen title, it looked really gorgeous. And this is basically the sequel continuation, unlike Mirror's Edge. This is the follow-up to Jensen's story. So this, I think the story this time around is that there's like this Russian terrorist or whatever, and the whole, there's back and forth between like the augmented versus just the regular folks, like this war between the two of them, and intriguing stuff. And I can't wait to get my hands on this one, and PC for me. But yeah, it's great. It comes out in August, so I have time to beat Human Revolutions before I get my hands on this one. My number 3 most anticipated game. Now, this game has been, I think, the most anticipated game for a lot of people for going on 10 years now, since it was first announced. Last Guardian. This game was supposed to come out for the PS3, but like, I guess to the fact that they had such a huge mechanic surrounding this game, like it couldn't work for PS3. Like, so when PS4 was announced, they were like, all right, we gotta move it on to this platform. And definitely we thought this game was canceled too until they revealed it E3 last year. Last year E3, and said the game was coming out around the first quarter of 2016. So yep, I'm definitely anticipating this game really hard. The thing about it is why I wouldn't put this as my number 1 game is, one, it's still an unknown factor what kind of game I'll be getting. Yes, I never played Ico, but I played Shadow of the Colossus. Love that game. I love the fact that basically it's like what, 12, 11 bosses you gotta fight in that game, and there's no like underlings and minions. It's just fight bosses, and the way how you beat them is just differently. You gotta figure out how you're gonna take them down. So they have a very unique art style and world building in their games. So this game features like a bird dog, it's apparently they're really gonna make you sort of like get attached to this thing. They're really gonna make you cry, aren't they? They're gonna kill it. Come on, they're gonna kill it at the end, right? And make you cry. See, they're just telegraphing that shit. But anyway, the thing about it is you still don't know. This game has been in development for so long that the anticipation could be just so high that it just disappoints. So I'll temper my expectation and put this right there in the middle as my number 3 most anticipated game. Still, excited for it, but tempering it down. I don't know what I'm getting with this game, and this game has been in development for so long and changed so many so many controversy behind it. Like people left and people came back. People are just consulting. Whatever. So we don't know exactly what we're gonna get with this final product. So I'll just lower my expectation and keep it at number 3. Now my number 2 most anticipated game is Uncharted 4: Thieves' End. Now this could have been easily number 1 if my number 1 wasn't coming out this year either. So I gotta put it at number 2. This is a very high number 2. Like I could possibly tie it with my number 1 pick, but in the interest of fairness, I'll keep it at number 2. But Uncharted 4, man, like the Uncharted series is my number 2 franchise, which my number 1 belongs to my number 1 franchise video game. So you can see why it's number 2 and 1 respectively. So Uncharted is my number 2 series of franchises, and I loved each and every one of the game's entries in the series. And the acting is top notch, the gameplay is top notch. It just feels so cinematic. The stories are just amazing. Even though I think Uncharted 2 so far has the best story out of all of them. 3 was still like a massive undertaking, like cinematic. It delivered a lot, but as far as like story, I think 2 did it best with its story. Like 3 kind of like faltered a little bit here and there. You weren't as invested in the outcome of this game as much as like the first two. Well, I would say two, because I think three is above and beyond the first one. First one is only surprising because you didn't know, like, games could be like this. Two just like brought it to a whole nother level, and because we were used to the level that two brought, three kept it at that level while still improving things here and there. But four, what we've seen so far is looking like it's supposed to be the last of the series anyway, so they're going to go out with a bang. Questions I have though is how will the dialogue choices affect the outcome of like events that happen in the game. Will it have multiple endings? Will it have like alternate paths? Is this going to be a lot more open world than it has been in the past? Like, I think the fact that they've toyed with games like The Last of Us, where it's not really like open world, it's still kind of like a linear path, but it's still, you can take it different routes. You can go different routes. You don't even have to go to that there first. You can explore. There's a lot more exploration. So they could definitely, I think they definitely took stuff that they learned from Last of Us to incorporate into this game. So of course the I can't even, like, that's a gift. You know what I'm saying? Graphics is gonna be just on the next level graphics level. So it's my number 2 most anticipated game. It got delayed 3 times. Right now it's coming out in April, when it's supposed to come out in March. Now it's coming out in April, which is fine. I still got a bunch of games to play anyway, so I'm not starving for video games. But it's my number 2, and I can't wait for this game to come out. Now my number 1. Now, if my number wasn't coming out, Uncharted would have been number 1. But this one takes the cake, because this is my number 1 franchise in video games, and I loved every one of them. More so number 2 and 3 than the first one, even though a lot of people love the first one more than 2 and 3. They think the first one is the best, but I can't go back to the first one again. And the game I'm talking about is Mass Effect. Mass Effect Andromeda comes out sometime, I think maybe the final quarter of this year. But it's set far from in the future from the original trilogy. And I guess how they're doing it is that it's a different galaxy, it's the Andromeda galaxy. So the first 3 games explored the Milky Way. This one is going to explore Andromeda. And I think at the time, how they're pulling it off is that a ship was sent to another galaxy during Shepard's era, and he sends them off, and they're in this new galaxy, and offsprings and whatever. But we don't know if it's going to follow one particular main character, kind of like Shepard, or you're going to be able to build your own character, kind of like how you can build your own character in the Dragon Age games. I'm curious to see how they're going to implement these stuff. I think we'll see more at hopefully before E3, but by E3 we'll get to see exactly what they have planned for this game. But when I get this game, like, I think Mass Effect 2 and 3 are the only games I've ever did all the missions, side missions, main missions, DLCs. I did it all because, like, I was just so immersed in that universe that I felt like I lived in that universe, and I just wanted to explore it all. I wanted to see what's over there. I'm never usually that kind of guy. Like, I want to get to the point already. It's like, don't force me to do side missions. I don't like side missions. Leave me alone, right? But this game just made me want to just explore the entire universe, and Mass Effect Andromeda will not be different. I'll definitely be doing side missions here and over there. I'll get a season pass. I don't care. I'll get a season pass. I'm buying a season pass. Even though people hate that whole season pass movement, I don't care. I'll buy it. You know what I mean? Because their DLC have been great. I think for the 3rd game, Omega is like my favorite DLC because it's just so action packed. And then for, I think, Mass Effect 2, I would say my favorite DLC out of that one may have been maybe Arrival, I think, is my favorite DLC out of that one. But yeah, I'm hyped, man. I can't wait. Mass Effect is definitely up there, like, but I would say Mass Effect is here. Uncharted 4 is like right here, and both of those games are like way above my bottom 3 right here. So I can't wait. So guys, I want you to like and subscribe this video. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Marky Tundra, and you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/popculturegalaxy. Of course, you can visit popculturegalaxy.com for all your entertainment goodies. So until next time, folks, I want to say peace.